Hi, Bobby. I know you're really busy, so thanks for making time for this interview. But before we get going, I think you should introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, my name is Bobby, and I'm a ninth grader in ICS, and I like sports, so I joined mostly sports team.
Great. Let's get started. So I know that you, like many other students at our school, have experience living in several different countries, which means going to various schools that each of those countries has to offer. But since you're here in Korea attending ICSP, my question for you is, what other schools have you gone to, and how do you think ICS is unique in comparison to those other schools?
My previous school is in China. It's a non-Christian school, but ICS, it's a Christian school. And the special thing about ICS is they teach Bible, and that can change my perspective on worlds and people.
You're right. I do admit that our school is unique in that we teach about the Bible, but that works to change our perspective on how we view things. In fact, I've seen some considerable change between who you were before and who you are now. Now, I know that it really hasn't been that long since you came here, but you joined the basketball team almost immediately and you instantly became a key player. So my question is, how do you feel about the sudden pressure on the sports teams, and how's it different from the attention you received in your previous school?
My previous basketball team, they wish I could defeat everyone by myself. If I couldn't, they will put me in sub. But at ICS, I feel trust because I came in middle way of the season and coaches put me in first five, and that makes me feel I'm getting trust. And that's the biggest difference. One is disappointment, one is trust.
Really? Well, I guess there definitely is more competition at a bigger varsity team compared to our school. But I think it's great to know that you feel trusted at our team, especially since trust is really important and it plays a big part in your individual performance as well. All right. As we've been talking about in our previous question, you're known to be athletic and able to handle the ball in various different sports. But surely you have other things that interest you and fill up your time that you aren't doing sports or finishing up homework. So my question is, what are some other hobbies or interests that you have, and why do they interest you?
So I'm very interested in things like music, especially drum. So I've been learning drums for several years, and I also did some level tests. And the reason that I like drum is because while I'm enjoying it, it's also helpful for my future.
Oh, you play the drums? Well, I personally think that's awesome that you have so many different things that you can do that you also enjoy doing at the same time. Now, although you're an athlete, you're a student athlete, meaning that I probably shouldn't end this interview without asking at least one question about your student vision. So as a high school student, you will undoubtedly be having thoughts about how you're going to plan out your future and once you graduate high school. So my question is, can you give us a brief insight on on some of your plans for the future and how you're going to work to achieve these goals?
So in the future, I hope I could become an architectural designer. So to become an architectural designer, I have to have good grades on mathematics and physics. And in future, I'll improve on my mathematics and physics grades, but language art, I'll also do my best.
Wow, I think it's really great to know that you have some plans for the future. And as your classmate, I know that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to, since you persistently and so I completely support your dreams. Um, Finally, I expect that surely you must have faced at least a few challenges as you adjusted to life at ICSP. So, my question is, what advice would you give to newcoming students for next year? And based on your early experiences on ICSP, can you provide two specific tips or pieces of advice that you think would be particularly helpful for them to know?
My suggestion is try to remember everyone's name, personalities, and hobbies in the beginning. Although there are not much students at ICS, but it will still take some time doing these things. Second, please tell them communicate more with their classmate. They will quickly improve their relationship between them.
Well, I think this is great advice for newcoming students, especially since it's based on your recent experiences. Alright, well, thanks for being here today and answering those questions for us, Bobby. It wasn't as hard as it seemed, right? I think that everyone at ICS got to know you a little better through this. But before we finish, and I let you go, you have to answer the talk's official question, which is, do you have any suggestions for who the talk should interview in our next video?
Yeah, I think we should. I suggest Justin Lee from 11th grade because he's a senior next year and he will know more about high school and ICS.
Yeah, I think Justin's interview would be quite interesting, given that he'll be a senior next year. Alright, thanks for being here with us today and sharing your story. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, everyone, and make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.